This is the Phoenix mind, where the fire refines, break the chains and rise to shine. Rise on the lead with heart, every end a brand new start. With Lisa Manzo, we transform, we ignite. This is the Phoenix mind.
Hi, welcome to the Phoenix Mind Podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Manzo, and today my special guest is Nathan Francis. And I'm going to read you his bio because he's awesome. Nathan is a transformational coach helping men break free from the subconscious patterns and programming keeping them stuck. With a background in personal development and a mission to elevate human consciousness, he empowers others to heal, grow, thrive in today's modern world. Welcome, Nathan. Thanks for being here.
Welcome. Oh, welcome. Thank you, Lisa, for having me. I really appreciate you allowing me to come on your platform and share some insights with your audience today. So, yeah, I love that you're in Vegas too. You know, we can talk about that later, but I spent a bit of time in Vegas in my old life.
Wait, next time you come, we can have coffee. I'll pick you up at the airport.
That sounds like a plan.
Hold me to it. And so tell my audience your story and why you do what you do, because I think it's amazing, and because I know a little bit about it, and my audience knows nothing. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I think your audience would be well aware of the Australian and the worldwide culture of alcohol. I fell into that trap very early on in my journey, I guess. I guess my journey started with pornography first, and I'm just going to openly say that I used to watch porn a lot, and I was open to up to that from the age of 8 years old, just through a buddy that lived down the road from me. And long story short, it was this thing that I couldn't escape from. You get those feelings as a kid, and you're like, "Oh, what's this?" And yeah, so for me, it became a not an addiction, but a habit, and that played out later in my life too. But if we fast forward, when you get to 16, 17, you start wondering what your place here in the world is, who your tribe is, where you fit, where you're sort of move into the next phase of your life. Well, for me, I had the spinner rack. I call it the spinner rack of characters on the TV that I wanted to be. I had Stifler from American Pie. I had Joey from Friends and Charlie from Two and a Half Men. I think you can sort of see the guy I was going to be in my 20s, having watched the programming of that for a very long time. Throw in Adam Sandler movies, Jim Carrey, throw in Kevin James, Homer Simpson. You can sort of see my programming of where I was going to be. So then I picked up the drinking and all the things as my buddies were all doing it, and I was trying to be a bit like Stifler, just that overconfident, that guy that would, be loud and boisterous. That was sort of my personality from 16 to 28, really, and that's who I was. And then drinking became more of a problem as things in my life and things going on around me became bad. Like there were things going on in my family home. There was things going on in life, right? And alcohol became another form of escape. So the first escape was porn. So porn was the first escape. I'd go there every morning, every night, and that was my thing. But then alcohol, you throw in the alcohol, then you throw in partying, chasing women, throw in Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, all these dating apps, and it was just this never-ending cycle. So we go through my 20s, and I had my very first girlfriend, and as you do, broke my heart a bit, and that closed my heart off from ever falling in love. And I went through what I call the I hate women phase from 20 to 26. So I just sleep around and do all those things that the young people do. I was the king of it, and it got to a breaking point in 2020 where the COVID stuff happened, and my whole worldview was changing around that time. I went through a mass awakening, and everything that I knew to be true in the world was a lie. And that really heightened more of my self-abusive habits, which were the drinking and all the things. But I'd already stopped drinking a bit during all the bullshit of COVID, and it got to 2021, and I looked myself in the mirror and I said, Nath, actually, my cousin sent me a text message coming out for a house party, and I said, look, this is your last night of drinking, partying. Get this out of your system. It was sort of a manifestation, sort of intention set that I had absolutely no clue about at the time that I was setting an intention to change the trajectory and path of my life. Because 12 hours after I set that intention in the mirror, there were three young girls sitting over the other side of the house, just on their own. I thought, oh, here's my chance to go over and, impress and, have some fun for the night. Anyway, I walk over the table. I sit on the table, not around it, with no chairs left. I said two pickup lines and I fell through that plastic table. And that was the start of my journey. It was like, Nath, are you going to grow from here or are you going to stay where you are? And I chose growth because I set that intention 12 hours prior. So from there, the next morning, it was about 3 hours later, I'm listening to a podcast that a buddy of mine started. And another buddy recommended he interview my now mentor, Jason Christoph, who's in Canada. And he was talking about self-sabotage, subconscious mind, and all these things. And I'm like, I'm the king of self-sabotage after my last 4 hours. Like, the things that I was doing, he was literally talking about. And I'm like, how can I get more information? What can I do to get better? Fast forward 4 months, he opened a coaching program. I did the certification, and it was the start of my healing journey. So from there, I birthed a podcast, a book, and a coaching business, all from falling through a table in about a span of 6 months. It happened really fast. But I set that intention in the mirror, and I've learnt the manifestation, intention setting energy of that. And I'm like, I did that unconsciously. I set an intention and my life changed. But I fell through a table, had a sore bum for a bit, but my whole life just got better from that table moment. There's so many stories within that over the last 3 years too, but that's a bit of my story. But I circled back to porn because a lot of the young men today, and a lot of men in general, have a real struggle with pornography, and I'm big on sharing my story around that to help others break free from that vicious cycle that porn is.
That's so interesting. So I'm not a guy, obviously. So let's talk a little bit more about, because that's really interesting to me. Did a lot of your friends, or is that an unspoken thing that happens with young men, that they get addicted to porn? Is it because of the women that are on there? Let's talk about that, because this is totally interesting to me, because I've never heard anything about this. I mean, I've heard about it, but like I've never actually talked to somebody.
Oh, there you go. Well, hopefully the audience will find some benefit from this, but I find that with porn, when I was younger, I was sort of ashamed of it. But then as I grew into my early teens, late teens, we talk about it as like a group of buddies. We'd go, oh, who's your favorite? Da 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 da. And sort of, I'm just gonna be open and honest about it. We used to keep count of how many times we would jack off for the day. You sort of know what I mean? Like, it was sort of like this game we'd sort of play in our, 17, 18, 19, even 20. We're like, oh yeah, sort of know what I mean? Like, it was sort of openly discussed, but I felt the shame and the guilt around it when I was younger. And then as I was trying to break free from it, guess what came back up? The guilt, the shame, all the things. Because I wanted to be this guy that could hold a woman and be a strong masculine man. But yet I had this guilt, shame, and fear around this stuff I was consuming. And at the end of the day, they're just two people on a screen doing things I can do out there in the real world. Was like the moment of like, this is not getting me where I want to go. How can I break this cycle? It took a lot of patience and resilience and discipline for me to break that cycle. And that's the thing, because when the subconscious, I talk a lot about going to the mental gym. So when you go to the gym and you want big biceps, you got to go and do the work, right? You got to do your bicep curls and all the things and put in that body of work over a period of time. Your mind's the same. I had probably 20 years of reps of porn inside my subconscious mind that I wasn't just going to quit cold turkey and just stop, because there's so much like programming inside my mind and inside my nervous system that it was a safety and comfort. So I had to replace that habit. So overnight, instead of going to bed and hiding and doing my thing, it was okay, well, let's include some meditation. Let's include some breath work. Let's relax the nervous system. Let's play with that energy a bit rather than just shooting it off into the sheets, into the tissues as these young guys do. That was the first step. Then of a morning, instead of just waking up and checking the phone and putting the screen on, falling into that trap, looking at Instagram girls, and then going, oh, and then bang, you're on the Pornhub, right? So for me, it was okay. How can I insert a new habit of a morning? Well, let's get up. Well, let's meditate. Let's get up. Let's go for a walk. Go to the gym of a morning. So then that way, it's retraining my nervous system, retraining myself. That there are new habits now that I don't have to go back to the way things were. It's like, no, we're going to go to the gym, we're going to relax of an evening, meditate, breath work, fall asleep, rather than go on the hub, have a big, quick little play, and then go to sleep. So for me, it's harnessing that energy. And for any man out there, the energy inside our balls, I'm just going to call it for what it is. The energy inside our balls, our seed, is a very strong seed. If that can help push into an egg and create a human. Imagine what that energy can do if we held onto it. So for me, over the last 3 years, I've held onto the energy. And I've used that energy and transmuted up through my chakra system into my crown to step out into the world with more confidence, more shine, more everything, because that energy is not just being wasted. Think of it as energy. If you want to know the secrets of the universe, as Nikola Tesla said, think energy, frequency, vibration. That energy in your balls, I'm telling you, boys and men out there, it's a very powerful energy. If you can hold it, transmute it, use it to build your life, you can rebirth and build yourself, as well as shooting it into a woman and creating a child. It's the same thing, but you're using it for you.
That's awesome. So I want to talk about this because you said it in your when you were talking about your story a little bit. And so you said that, you gave up alcohol and alcoholism is considered an addiction, and you said that your porn was a habit. So how would somebody know the difference between a habit and an addiction in your mind?
I feel an addiction would be something that you're thinking about 24/7. You can't shut it off. You have to have that hit. You have to have that thing. For me, porn, I didn't think about sex and porn during the day. It was more of oh, it's nighttime now, so let's put on a little video because that's what I've done for my whole life. So I find it's you have to have the hit, and you're thinking about it 24/7. Your mind's running. I haven't had my glass of wine yet, or those sort of things. A habit is just something that you do each and every day. It's like a routine. Whereas an addiction is something that you're constantly thinking about, constantly wanting to have a hit of the smoke or the gamble or that next high. That's how I differentiate between addiction and just a habit.
Okay, good. That's great. I like that. So for my audience, so that they understand what the difference is, and everybody believes something different. And I love the way you explained it. It was awesome. Yeah. So I have another question for you, and I believe this to be true as well, that the universe is a mirror and it gives you what you're reflecting. So it all starts with you. When you want something different, you have to change who you are, and it's up here in your brain. What you have to do is to change what's up there. And I work on that constantly. Like when some kind of like if I get any kind of an extreme emotion when something comes up, I know that that's something I need to work on, right? And I've been working on what's mirroring, and my life has gotten so much better because I work on myself. So you talk about your experience with the universe and mirroring.
Well, for me, I didn't realize any of this stuff until 3 years ago. My brother and I left our town to go on a trip up the east coast of Australia, and I met this awesome kinesiologist who's more than a kinesiologist, psychic, all the things, and she was talking a lot about this stuff, and I was like, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, but I had to go on the journey to figure that out. And for me now, I can't remember what you said actually. I've gone off on a tangent.
No, but that's good. That's so totally okay. I'll bring it back, but
Bring it back.
I will. Well, when I bring it back, please explain to the audience what kinesiology is. I know what it is, and I think it's awesome. And I was asking you how the universe mirroring you.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So kinesiology is muscle manipulation. The person's using your hand, usually your left or right hand, and they're just bouncing your arm back up, and she's pretty much with your subconscious as well, and she's or he is getting signals from your body as to what it is that you need, basically. That's what kinesiology is. It's very, very powerful, actually. Anyway, universe being a mirror. So for me, I didn't realize that the women in my life that I was bringing in and having some fun with were mirroring back to me the mummy issues that I had for a very, very long time. I didn't realize that the women that I was bringing in were mirroring in trust issues that I had with myself for a very, very long time. So the way the universe works is people, places, things, numbers, synchronicities, all those things will mirror back to you your current vibration, as Nikola Tesla said. Think energy, frequency, and vibration. People are the same. We're all frequency, energy, and vibration. So for me, it was all mirroring back to me the issues that I had with myself. And I find out there in society, we love blaming other people and other things for our issues. For me, I was blaming the world. I was blaming everyone else but myself. And it was that bitter pill moment of, Nathan, you allowed all these things to happen in your life, was the moment where I went, right, I'm not blaming mum and dad. I'm not blaming family. I'm not blaming the world. I'm just going to look in the mirror and go, right, I blame me. I take it upon myself to blame myself. And from there, I started to understand what people in my life were coming in for and what they were mirroring back to me by the things that they were saying, the way that they were acting, and all the things. It's like, oh, you're being someone, you're just a different person in a meat suit that I've had issues with way back then. You're just bringing that up for me to be like, I'm going to break this now. Might be to speak up, might be to all the things, right? I think you know what I'm saying. People have been the biggest mirror for me, and it's always been the women in my life that have been the biggest mirror, and they still are now. It's just in another beautiful way.
That's so interesting. I never like I knew about the mirror effect. I just never really thought about it in my relationships with my like say my husband and my exes. I'm like, that's something to consider. I'll have to give that some thought. And I can already
I
see.
just wanted to quickly add in there too, just quickly with that thing. I found that a lot of this stuff, the very first person we lay our eyes on as a male is our mother. So if we can't trust that woman in our life, then how are we going to trust other women? So then we roles reverse. I know the women lay their eyes on their mother, but a lot of the issues out there in society, a lot of women don't have a very good relationship with their father. So what they're trying to do unconsciously is seek that person that they might be saying, I don't want to be with someone like my dad, but yet unconsciously you'll bring in someone like your dad because they're mirroring to you the issues that you have with your father that need addressing. And I know that for me because women in my life were mirroring the issues I had with my mum big time.
That's just so interesting. And, and it could go either way. Like for me, my issues were the people I picked were mirroring issues I had with my mother as well. And because I can see it, I see it now. I couldn't see it then. And that's such an interesting concept. So for all of you out there, just be aware that in your relationships, if they're not going as well as you like, see what it's mirroring for you.
A lot of people will say, I keep bringing in people that are like my dad or like my mum. It's like, yeah, duh, Fred, because you still have unresolved issues there and you're unconsciously seeking that safety or seeking that so that you can break the cycle, break the pattern.
Okay. So, how has emotional intelligence or self-awareness shaped your journey? You've talked a little, and you became aware, and that was pivotal for you of things you needed to change. And how has it shaped your life? Like, what's better because of it?
I always had these feelings, these unresolved feelings inside, like anger, guilt, shame, sadness, all the things. But I kept burying it underneath and masking with just with confidence or with alcohol or with just with women. And it wasn't until I was able to sit with myself and actually process those emotions and actually feel them in their entirety. And I'll circle back to your age group, Lisa, because my dad's a very similar age to you. Is there's this men's asking for help problem out there. And it stems from generations, right? Men don't want to ask for help because it's weak. They don't want to cry because showing emotions weak. And it's prevalent all over the world. I came here to break that cycle because we all feel things. We can all, and we don't have to bury them underneath all this stuff. The best things I'm seeing out there in the world now are men coming together and just crying, arm in arm, link in link. I'm not feeling great today, and then helping each other through those emotions. Men, we feel things. We're allowed to feel them. There is this generational program there. We don't need any of that crap because we're feelers and it's okay to feel and it's okay to put our hand up and say, hey, I need some help. I did that in my own way 3 years ago before falling through that table. I just looked myself in the mirror and put it out in the universe and said, I need some help. So Nate's going to fall through a table and then help's going to arrive on the other side. It's just, we have to feel. And a lot of people in the spiritual community will say, oh, it's all love and light. Yes, love and light's great. But what about the polarity of darkness and light where we're both? It's almost like we're bypassing our feelings to feel sadness, to feel anger, to feel guilt and shame. We have to go through the motions and feel everything. We can feel love and we can feel light, but we're going to have periods of time where we're going to have some guilt come up and some sadness come up. So when we're feeling like that, we can't just be in love and light all the time. So as men, we have to feel. And we can't keep burying our problems away with women. We can't keep burying them away with Netflix. We can't keep burying them away with drinking alcohol in a pub all the time. We can't keep burying these emotions because we're going to get depressed and we're going to have the issues that we currently have in the world right now because people are not feeling their emotions and they're not understanding where and how and why they've come up. Our system's failing people too. It's just a band-aid approach. We have to feel. We can't bypass these feelings. They're always going to be there.
I think that's awesome.
Bit of a rant
And
there.
it's great because you're leading the way and you're explaining to men that they don't have to be the be all end all. I feel as though being a human and being in a relationship, it's a team sport, right? You got to work together. It's cooperation. And I think it's wonderful that you're putting it out there and you're saying, yes, it's okay to cry. Yes, it's okay to feel your emotions. And I think that's absolutely wonderful. And thank you for doing that. And I'm sure so many men are appreciating your story because this is brave. And I want to say it, you coming out here and telling that because we know what the societal programming is, and it is, oh, men, if you cry, you're weak, which is so not true. So not true. So, is there a part of your story you rarely get asked about that you wish more people would ask you about?
Uh, I'm pretty open and honest in sharing my story on a lot of platforms through podcasting and social media, but not really, no. But if there's anything that you want to ask me, feel free. I'm an open book, so I think I've made that pretty clear today.
So, when you were healing, did you feel as though that you had to heal the younger version of yourself because you needed
Ooh.
different parenting than you got?
Yeah, and that was part of the blame thing. I blame my parents a lot for the things that I had going on. And the moment I was able to look myself in the mirror again and take that responsibility and blame on myself, it changed my perception of my family. And my mum's Facebook's beautiful. She'll listen to this. She always does. Her Facebook's great because there's a lot of younger photos of me on there. And if I'm feeling a certain way, and it's an inner child or an inner teenager or an inner 20-year-old, I'll look on her Facebook and every time I'll find the right photo and I'll sit with that photo and I'll stare at him and I'll imagine that I'm actually there with him in that moment and I'm holding him or I'm saying, mate, we're rewriting a brand new story here. Like, I had a lot of guilt and shame and a lot of anger towards the way I used to be. And the moment I was able, there's a photo on my Instagram which is at Nathan Francis 2 underscores. It's a pinned photo. It's my very first photo. It's a drunk photo of me in a nightclub when I was 26. And I'm looking, if you're on YouTube, I'm looking like this. My eyes and tongues hanging out. And I found that photo on my old computer and I went, I'm gonna make that a bit of a quote and put that out there. But the thing is, I went back to that guy and said, mate, we're rewriting a brand new story. I have so much admiration. I have so much respect. Oh, I'm actually getting a bit emotional. I think that's coming up again. I have so much admiration, so much respect for you. You've shaped who I am today. I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to dust you off. I'm going to walk you to a brand new path, somewhere where you've never been before, but we're going to go together. And I do that with every version of me that's ever existed. I did that with a version of me from last year, 12 months ago, because
You're-
that guy needed to hear that, something like I got so much respect for every step I take, every move I make, like that song from the Police. Every step I take, every move I make, that's the song that plays when that photo goes up. It's like that's the guy. I'm
yeah,
showing you a new way. And there was this little kid. This is what birthed my book. There was this little kid that was which was me, in a parent-teacher interview. And I used to write a lot about being a hero. I used to write comic books. I used to be like supernatural and write all this cool shit. But this teacher one day said, "Oh, we don't want Nathan writing this stuff. We want Nathan to do what everyone else is doing because, you know, that's what she said." And I took that on as a 6 year old as the story of my writing's not worthy. So for a long time, I didn't write or do anything because there was that block there from that teacher. However, I went back to that kid in the moment and said this to him. I said, "Nath, that's one person's perception of who and what you can be. You came here to do and be multiple things. She's one person in a world full of 6 billion, Nathan. There'll be one person out there in a world of 6 billion that will resonate with what you have to say, what you have to do, and what you have to write." I cried with that kid telling him that, and I walked him to a new path, and I wrote my book the next day.
that's awesome. I think, this is so great. I love talking about all this stuff because, and I have another version of, yes, you looked in the mirror, and I used to have a lot of anger and resentment, and then I just started to like look back and see what gifts did I get out of my childhood that I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't have the life that I had. And, in every way we can, it's a great healing process. And thank you for sharing all this information. So I have two more questions for you. The first question is, whether you want to repeat something or give my audience something new, what's something that they can do if they're having a struggle at some point that you think will help them through something?
Just remember that you have the power. Whenever you're going through something, you'll hand it away to a doctor, to a teacher, to someone to fix you. The beauty of this work is you have the power to fix you. You have the ability to heal and do some really awesome things. You were just conditioned through the school system and through the workforce that you have no power. I'm here to tell you that yes, you do. You have so much power and so much potential that exists inside of you. And if you had one person tell you that, and I had to tell myself that, and I had some great mentors also tell me, which is fantastic because I was able then to see it in myself, and that's why I'm saying it. You have so much power and so much potential that exists inside of you. And all it takes is one light bulb or one moment to see it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you figure out and connect the dot that you're the only one that can piss on that power, that gives you so much more power because then you're the one putting out your own power. You go to all these people to fix you. Just look in the mirror and fix yourself because it starts with you. No doctor, no pill, no drug, no alcohol, no porn. They're not going to fix you. They're just going to band-aid the problem. The problem is you. And once you remember that, look out, world, because there's a spark, a speckle of light that exists. And once you see that light, it shines out. It's like an aura. It's like the sun just shines on you. That's your power. And once you remember that, go for it.
Awesome. And when people want to learn more from you, how can they reach you?
I've already plugged my Instagram. So my Instagram is Nathan Francis 2 underscores. I have Substack as well, which is my name. I have Facebook, all the socials. You'll just put my name in there and you'll find me. I also have my own podcast called Breaking Free. It's available on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Rumble, a lot of platforms. Had some really awesome guests on there. That inner child that the teacher said that he shouldn't be writing, well, that inner child also birthed that podcast, birthed it not long after the book was finished. I'm 130 episodes into that podcast. The first one was a car crash. The 130th one I recorded the other day is a lot better than the first one. But if you want to listen to the first one, feel free. You can see how far I've come. Had some really awesome guests on there, people from all over the world, holistic health coaches, sex therapists, sex coaches. I've had like all sorts of my own brother's been on there a few times. Like had some really awesome people on there, and it's a lot of good conversations. And in each conversation, there's always a beautiful message in there for my audience as well. So if you want to jump on that, feel free to have a listen. There's also a few solo episodes on there. My very first solo episode, I poured my heart out and shared my whole story and ended up crying on live on the podcast. That's up there somewhere. So yeah, a lot of awesome moments, a lot of awesome memories, and making some more now. So yeah, feel free to jump on the Breaking Free podcast on all platforms.
All right. Well, Nathan, thanks for being my guest today. This has been very enlightening for me. You taught me some new things, some things you reminded me of. Thank you so much for being here.
No worries.
And this is
Let's
Lisa.
do it again. Circle back.
Yes, we should. This is Lisa Manzo, your host of the Phoenix Mind podcast, and I'll see you on the next episode.
This is the Phoenix Mind, where the fire refines. Together we rise, transform our lives.